Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another airline pilot vlog. For those that are new here, my name's Peter, aka Pilot Pete, and today I didn't want to sound like a broken record and film yesterday, but believe it or not, if you've watched the last 3 vlogs, I've had deadheads that either start out of JFK or Newark front end. I've just been getting insanely lucky with my drops, my trades, and just the way it's been working out. I promise this is not the norm if you're new here. A lot of commuting, normally jump seating, all that kind of stuff. But like I said, last 4 weeks, literally in a row, I've just been getting super lucky with my trip. So yesterday was a paid day in New York, which was great. Got everything I needed to get done, and now we're taking the Uber from my apartment to the ramp at Newark, and stuck in a little bit of normal New York traffic, but it is what it is. We'll still get there right on time. Flight is from Newark to Memphis to start the trip, and then we turn in Memphis and head to Boston. So I haven't been in Boston in a while. Love that city, especially during the summer. We stay right kind of downtown, seaport area. So looking forward to getting some good grub down there. I didn't have a chance to go on my run this morning or get a workout in yet, so you already know it'll be happening either in the hub, depending on how much time you have, or in Boston. So as always, want to come along for the ride? Let's go do it. Beautiful people, we're out here on the ramp in Newark. Like I said, I gotta spend the next 5.5, 6 hours in a tin can. I'd rather not stuck in a car, so they give you a ride out to the airplane. I said no problemo. Let me throw on my safety vest, because safety is sexy, and just walk across the ramp with my bag. As we got a 7-3 departing, probably headed to the West Coast. So yeah, life is good, soaking up that vitamin D. I'll walk around the 7-6, meet with the captain. Already checked the flight plan and the weather. Smooth sailing to Memphis. And it's gonna be about like 2 hours and change, 2 hours 20. And he'll probably take the leg. Actually, I'm 99% positive he will. It's actually a line check. So he'll be getting checked out by a line check airman, which I'll explain what that is a little bit later when the APU is not blasting in the background. A nice rarity in the summer heat, the maintenance personnel wants to put on the APU because we got air coming on and it's blowing out, and it's only 23 degrees Celsius in here. Usually you come into a brand new flight deck for an airplane that's sitting here, it can be like high 30s, 40 C's, so like 95, 100 degrees, it's miserable. But luckily the maintenance personnel was like, look, it's 100 degrees outside in Newark today, let's get these guys some cold air. So it's just me on the flight deck right now. Captain and the line check airmen are on their way. So to explain what that means is the line check airman will be sitting in the jump seat, which is right behind us. That'll be positioned differently. Captain will be in his or her seat, and I'll be in my seat, obviously. And basically what they're doing is, I believe it's every 6 or 9 months. I'm not a captain, so I don't really know exactly when you have to get checked out, but you have to have a special captain who just makes sure that like you're following the procedures, that everything you're doing is normal. I've been a part of, I don't know, a dozen line checks in the last like 2 years. They're really no big deal. There's really no pressure. I mean, the check airmen are company pilots that fly normal lines as well, but the FAA designates them to give them the authority to say, hey, this captain and this first officer are checked out, are safe to fly based on the company procedures, the FAA, all that good stuff. So yeah, some people get kind of nervous during check rides. I don't, because if you fly normally and you fly the procedures as they're supposed to be anyway, it shouldn't really be a big deal, right? You're still doing the same thing. But it's always good to have like a set of eyes kind of behind you to, you know, help you with little things that, oh hey, by the way, when you're flying the approach, you can slow down a little bit sooner or later because of this, that, whatever. It's just good to have that. So get the flight deck all set up. Like I said, checked over the flight plan, it's all good to go. And just waiting on the flight crew, the rest of them to get here. I gotta go walk around in 100-degree weather. Let's go to Memphis. Hello from Memphis, Tennessee. I gotta admit, I lied. I thought it was gonna be a smooth ride from Newark to Memphis. It was the first hour. The second hour of the flight was bumpy as not heck, but light to it's a pocket of moderate turbulence. Just goes to show you that pilots don't really know if it's gonna be bumpy or smooth. So when they get on the PA and tell you it's gonna be bumpy, it's gonna be smooth, we don't really know. It's the honest truth. Yeah, we have an idea. There are some systems and some charts in our iPads that we can kind of look at, but it can be very, very unpredictable. So it wasn't forecasted, but it sure as heck happened for at least like 45 minutes. Landed 1-8 center. Like I said, it was a captain's line check. It means I actually kind of also get checked, for lack of a better term. Happy to report we passed. So it means the captain's good for another year. And like I said, I do them all the time because I'm not the one officially getting checked. The captains are, but the check airman who sits behind us gives us pointers, tips, critiques, all that kind of stuff when we're done. And he said we did an excellent job. Day over thing here in Memphis until turn, I should say, until I have to head to Boston. So no time for working out or running because I would have to shower and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna run out to my little airport car, grab some food, and then we'll be on our way to Memphis. So the company provides us with some sleep rooms in our world hub. So I'm able to grab a little room, change out my pilot uniform, and I actually keep a car here in Memphis as well, because as a commuter, it's just nice for these breaks to be able to get out of just kind of like the pilot flight ops area and decompress a little bit. I usually go to the gym. Like I said, I have no time on this turn, so just gonna go out, grab some lunch. For those asking, the Honda Accord from Facebook Marketplace that I bought a couple years ago, AC negative, still no AC, so it's probably like 95 degrees in Memphis right now. Humidity, heat index is probably close to like 99, maybe even 100. So it's good living, you know, just windows open, hot air on hot air. You gotta do what you gotta do. I got quoted for a new AC, but like, I don't know, I go back and forth. I don't really mind the sauna vibes because I really don't want to pay the money. So we'll see what I end up doing. Beautiful people, we're back out on the ramp after a very, very short break here in Memphis. We're pre-flight in the 767 and our next stop is Boston, Massachusetts. It's windy out here, it's hot. I am very, very sweaty and didn't even get to work out, so that's not fun. The humidity is terrible. Well, we got a 3-hour flight up to Boston. Some storms out to the north of Memphis shouldn't be a factor for us, but this wind and those kind of like popcorn clouds will probably cause for some non-wanted bumps. We'll get her done, 3 hours en route. Haven't decided who's flying the leg yet. I'll probably take it if given the choice because I didn't get to fly here. So next stop, Boston. If you ever wanted to know what a empty 767 freighter looks like, there you go. So obviously there's no cans loaded on yet. They're just about to start loading. I'm all the way in the back. And they have these balls that roll the cans on to help slide them. And then these locks to lock them into place. I don't do any of that, thankfully. So anyone who watches that does load the airplanes, I just walk back here. It's 95 degrees outside. The only fresh air opening is the main cargo door opening. So thank you for all your hard work, especially in the summer months because it is brutally hot back here. So make sure you're staying cool as best as possible. But I'll start loading, so I gotta get to the flight deck and get ready for work. Good evening from Boston, Massachusetts, not to be confused with Austin, Massachusetts. We landed 2-2 left. I did the landing. We were heavy. Our landing weight was like 308,000 pounds. So we came in with the gusty winds. Our approach speed was 160 knots. It's about 175 plus or minus some miles an hour. So usually we're not coming in that fast on the 767, usually not that heavy, but today we were with cargo and fuel. Pretty good landing. I'm gonna go with a 9.2. The jump seater gave me, he's like, dude, nice job. I was like, hey, you know, Pilot Pete figuring it out. But nice day in Boston. And look at this. There's the harbor, and then I believe that's where they dumped in the Lipton iced tea, the Boston Tea Party, and then I just loaded some pickleball courts right out my window. Unfortunately, I don't have my pickleball racket. Unfortunately, I am dead tired. I haven't done any workout today, just literally been in a tin tube, it feels like. But I don't know, we're probably gonna do like 10 minutes of abs or something on the floor. I gotta eat, I go to bed because I gotta catch up. I can tell I'm a little cranky. So, and there's a concert going on. I just told the captain I'm flying with, like, of course there's a concert outside our window blasting music, and it's like, I know I'm not happy about it either, but not everyone's a cranky pilot like him and I are right now. We just want to go to sleep. So it is what it is. We'll survive. Early wake up tomorrow, so let's go enjoy a little bit of Boston. Downtown Boston, we're walking to go find some food right by the water. Not too shabby of a location to be. Wish I had more time, like I said, but at least we got here before it got too dark. That concert is blasting some hard punk rock, screamo music. Not my cup of tea, but hey, to each their own. I just hope that they tone it down come bedtime. So looking for some grub in downtown Boston. All right, we found a place to eat. I've actually been here before. It's called Honey Grove, BHG. It's kind of like a fast casual order. Coming with the steak and chicken stir fry, 20 bucks. I mean, I feel like I make a better one at home, but when you're on the road, you gotta do what you gotta do. It smells delicious. Hot as heck. Let that cool down and we'll enjoy some dinner. I definitely picked the wrong city to not run around, because Boston, at least at sunset, nice breeze off the water, really cool, like harbor views would have been sweet, but I screwed that up. So instead I'll be running around Memphis, Tennessee tomorrow afternoon for my training plan at like freaking 3 p.m. and then I'm gonna probably have to run in Fort Lauderdale. Just bad planning on my part. Should have looked ahead at the schedule on the training plan, but oh well, what are you gonna do? Dinner was all right, not really that full, but it is what it is. Now headed back to the hotel to get some sleep because we got an early wake up tomorrow. I think like 5:30 wake up. Yikes. Currently 10 o'clock, getting ready for bed, and there's literally a rock concert going outside my freaking hotel. I don't think you can hear it, but it's like insanely loud. The hotel warned us about it. It's literally outside. There's nothing they can do. So I'm gonna do my best to get some sleep. They said it has to stop by 11 by law, so fingers crossed they stop playing in less than an hour. Hopefully I can sleep. There are protocols in place, you know, it's called fatigue calls. If you have to call in fatigue, you call in fatigue. If you can't fly, you can't fly if you're not well rested. It's just part of the deal at every airline. No questions asked, and this would obviously be an easy one to call in fatigue, but not predicting fatigue. That's kind of how it works. They say call in when you are fatigued, don't predict it. So again, we're hoping we can get some sleep. Hopefully when you guys see me tomorrow on the ramp in Boston. So good night. Good morning, beautiful people. Happy to report whoever was rocking and rolling the other night abided by the rules, and they stopped jamming out at around 11 p.m. So your top 100th favorite pilot was able to get some sleep last night. We're feeling good. We're watching all the craziness happen in Boston. Planes taxiing in, planes taking off, plane's taxiing out, waving hi to the beautiful people on their way to Aruba. We just pre-flighted the 767 and she's all set to go. We got 2 legs today. The first one is down in Memphis. Thunderstorms kind of popping up nearby and around Memphis area, but captain's leg. We got an alternate of Nashville, Tennessee. Should be good though. Just under 3 hours, or just over 3 hours, I should say, on our way down to Boston. Let's go do it. Hello from Memphis, Tennessee. We made it to the promised land. Good flight from Boston, 3 hours and like 5 minutes. Boston was beautiful this morning. I hope you guys enjoyed those views as much as I did. Just taking off, flying over the harbor, right over Boston. Logan was right off our right wing, so it was pretty cool to see. And then pretty much a smooth ride the entire way to Memphis. Memphis has as we speak, a huge thunderstorms coming in, so our radar was painting pretty bad pictures of thunderstorms for our descent and arrival into runway 36 right. But luckily, when you're that close to the ground, the radar can kind of get confused, for lack of a better term, with like just the ground clutter and things like that. So it looked really bad on the radar with a bunch of red and yellow, you know, severe storms, but it was just light rain. Landed 36 right, no problem. Captain's leg. And that ends that portion. Got about 4 hours here till my Fort Lauderdale flight. About to pour, like I said, but we're gonna strap on the running sneakers and we're gonna get a run in, or I might alter for a workout and stay dry. I'm not sure yet, but either way, let's go take advantage of some time here in Memphis. Well, remember that rainstorm I told you that was just to the west of the airport moving east? Well, it's officially here, pouring cats and dogs. We came to the gym, we're right outside, trying to let it pass so I don't get soaked, but it is what it is. I'm saving my run for when we get to Fort Lauderdale later, but I'm tired. I don't want to go to the gym, and my AC doesn't work in my car, so I think it just makes me extra sleepy, but non-negotiable, folks, you already know. Beautiful people, good afternoon from myself and Mr. Eddie. Just pre-flighted the 767, as you can probably hear. Getting loaded up right now for our last flight of the day. We're going Memphis to Fort Lauderdale, and you'll never guess, but I actually have another line check. You remember from earlier in the video, it's not actually me who's getting the line check, it's the captain. Well, just so happens that I got paired with a different captain that also needs a line check, so it's the same check airman, who's a great guy, but I'll be unscheduled getting another line check. Yesterday was one, Tuesday morning, and today's Wednesday, so back-to-back days. But like I said, even though I technically get graded and washed over, if you do the same thing, let's do every flight, it's no big deal. As we watch this 7-6 taxi out, flaps are at 5, but he jokingly said, he goes, you might be on double secret probation. That's why the company's got me watching you every single flight. So just coincidence, nothing more. At least that's what he said, I hope. But just weird route going to Fort Lauderdale. We're going like all the way down to like Louisiana area, then over the Gulf of Mexico, then to Florida. And it's because air traffic control again in Florida, because all the summer storms, what else is new? Pop-up storms create all this traffic in Fort Lauderdale. So I'll be pilot monitoring. Let's go do it. Salutations from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We made it. Like I showed you guys the route of flight. It was pretty wild how far south and west we had to go before we could turn towards Fort Lottie. But luckily, air traffic control gave us some shortcuts, direct redfin at one point to start heading in the right direction around some weather cells, and then more popped up. So they ended up actually changing our arrival completely. We were supposed to fly over like the Tampa area and just pretty much keep heading southeast towards Fort Lauderdale, but weather popped up, so they turned us to the right, and we ended up going over like the Florida Keys and then back north, did almost like a 180 over the Florida Keys there, and then back north towards Fort Lauderdale, landed runway 10 left. Captain passed his line check, so it was just too funny that the same check airman 2 days in a row back to back. I drew the short string, I guess, unless the company's really watching out for me, I don't know. But I'll get another satisfactory pass, which is good. He said we both passed, so all good, all good. Small pet peeve though, checked into the hotel, check airman captain got both their hotel rooms. I'm like, hey, excuse me, by any chance is there a king bed? I'm 6'4", so for me to sleep comfortably, I need a king bed. And without even looking at the computer, it's a Wednesday afternoon, no, none available. It's like, dude, with all due respect, you didn't even like at least lie and pretend like you're looking at the computer. So they leave, get their rooms, and I politely asked like, hey, it would really be beneficial, it'd help me sleep. I owe you one big time, with a big smile on my face, as politely and calmly as Pilot Pete could do. And sure enough, there's like 50 rooms available. So got my king bed. I'm a happy boy, but I should have ran in Boston because now I gotta head out. Well, that view is not gonna work. I gotta head out and get my 3.5 miles in at 8:45. So shame on me for not running yesterday, but I'm sticking to the plan. The plan says run 3.5. We're doing 3.5 in Fort Lauderdale. We'll head towards the beach and then Chipotle for dinner. So sorry for the long monologue. Let's go for a run. 4-mile speed workout in the books. I'm telling you, you'll never feel bad that you went on the run. I mean, I was miserable in the hotel. Didn't want to do it, but non-negotiable. We got it done. My reward: double chicken, double steak, double guacamole, and my pro move, the run without a shirt. I leave the hotel with the shirt so I don't get yelled at and looked, and then I just hide it near my final destination. So luckily this one didn't get stolen, or even last time, poured on. Whew, feeling good. Beautiful people, good morning from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We're out here on the windy ramp. It's not too hot though. The nice breeze is cooling me down. My hair probably looks ridiculous haircut when I get back to the city. We got 2 legs today to finish off the trip. Fort Lauderdale, Indy, and then Indy to Newark. And then the flying part ends because we got a back end deadhead out of Newark, which is where I live. So we'll be all good to go home from there. So looking forward to ending the trip. I want to show you guys something on the 767. On the aircraft left side, under her belly here, this big opening, and that's our outflow valve. So the outflow valve is basically what controls pressurization. So when you're on the ground, you want it to be fully open, which it is. So part of my pre-flight is to check that to make sure that it is in the open position, and then it opens and closes as necessary as we climb and descend. It's all automatic, so there's nothing that I have to do or the crew has to do in order to open or close it, but there's a pressurization controller 1, a pressurization controller number 2 for backup for failure systems, and then a manual mode. So there is a way in which we would have to control it descending and climbing. Luckily, knock on wood, never have had to do that. I've done it in the sim once. It's terrible in the sense of like there's a lot of tedious work. So that's the outflow valve. It's in the right position. We're ready to go. Like I said, not anticipating ever having to use it, but that automatically opens with weight on wheels. So as soon as you land, that goes fully open to depressurize the airplane, because you never want a pressurized airplane when you land, because if the flight attendants or the crew is opening up the door, it would either not open or blow, or depending on if it's negative or positive pressure. So anyway, that's that. We got airplanes taxiing out. Last time I was in Fort Lauderdale, I had like an hour on the ground for weather. Let's hope that's not the case. Got an Airbus over there, my old company, and then another Airbus coming into land.
Feeling good. Let's go have a day.
So on the overhead panel, there's the pressurization selector. We got mode select, auto 1, 2, and then heaven forbid manual, which is not going to be a good day, but the way we pick 1 or 2 is based on whose leg it is. So I'm going to be flying to Indy, so it's on auto 2, and that controls the outflow valve that I was showing you guys out there. And then we got our field elevation, our landing altitude in Indy, and then this is for the manual control. If you have to open or close that valve, it's showing full open right now, like I showed you guys before. Next stop, Indy. Hello from Indianapolis. The new sleep rooms we have here in Indy. Good flight up from Fort Lauderdale, 2 hours and 40 minutes. My leg, like I said, got a couple shortcuts from air traffic control, and then landed 5 right shortened. So what that means is we landed runway 5 right, but it's shortened by like a couple thousand feet. They're doing construction at the end, so there's only like 7,000 feet of runway available for landing. We were pretty light, 767, auto brakes 4. Not my best. It was a visual approach, configured a little bit late. Configuring means putting the flaps out, the gear out. So it was a little bit high, a little bit fast, coming around like 1,000 feet. And then that always sets up for basically a landing won't usually be as good if your approach isn't as good, if that kind of makes sense. So I'm gonna go with it was a light touchdown though. I will give myself that credit. I'll go with 7.2 out of 10 landing. So got about 4 hours here in Indy. People were asking to see like the sleep rooms and the hub. So I'll start with my little room here in Indianapolis. So I showed it in the last vlog, but here it is again. New beds, phones for like wake up, so you don't actually have to set your alarm if you're flying at night. They just ring you when it's time to go. Fan, this dumb thing, I hate this thing. Reading light. Yeah, it's not the best, not the worst. And then I'll show you guys out here. This is the row of sleep rooms. Notice literally no one here. That's why I'm able to talk loud, or normal voice, I should say. You got ironing boards, and then just different sleep rooms that open up. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 sleep rooms per hallway. And then you come out into the main. You got individual showers, bathrooms. So this is where I'll come after my workout and get my shower before we head back out. We give you towels, little soaps, where we throw our sheets and stuff like that. And then it's just basically hallways and hallways of exactly the same thing. So elevators to get back upstairs, more sleep rooms down there. And yeah, it's basically just one giant room to sleep. And like I said, it's pretty new. It's, I think a year and a half new. The negative of it, I mean, it's clean, it's new. Pilots are always gonna have something to complain about. The complaining part for me is it's pretty far from the actual airplanes. So it takes almost like, depending on what gate you park at, you're at the far north gate of our ops center, the furthest away. It can be like 15, almost 20 minutes on the bus just to get into your sleep room. So less time in here to nap and stuff like that. But all right, a couple hours, that's the sleep room. I'm gonna get some food and get going.
Beautiful people from the ramp in Indianapolis. Our last and final flying leg of the trip. And for me, the last flying leg for the next about 10-ish days. Because after this, next week, I know this vlog will come out later, but I'm going to Oshkosh, Wisconsin, which is like the biggest air show in the country, if not the world. It was my dad's Christmas present. He's a big av nerd geek like myself, so we're getting an RV, we're flying into Wisconsin, and then spending 4 or 5 days on the campgrounds there in Oshkosh. So I wish I had mentioned that in my last vlog so that you guys could give me some recommendations, but we'll figure it out. Hopefully I get to meet some of you beautiful people at the air show in Wisconsin. Really looking forward to that. But last leg, captain's taking it. Doesn't happen very often, but we're actually flying the exact same plane that we flew in from Fort Lauderdale, so there's really no bonus to that except for the fact that my ship headset will be clean and my seat position will be right where I want it to be, including the rudder pedals, so that'll be nice. But just under 2 hours, smooth skies. It's a little bit windy here. That'll cause a little bit of bumps, there's a little bit of clouds. But excited to get back to Newark, end the trip to Deadhead, my personal favorite. Like I said, I'm getting lucky. If you watch the last 3 or 4 vlogs, it's been like Groundhog's Day with the back-end deadheads. I'm telling you, that does not happen very often. Someone's looking out for me and was like, hey, we want to get you back into work nice and slow, ease into it. You've had a long summer. Let's just kind of let him be rewarded. So one more leg, let's go get it done.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Newark, that is a wrap. Landed runway 4 right. I'll always be impressed by air traffic control coming to New York. They're just so quick with it. They're incredible with the spacing, the speed. Yeah, it's wild to hear. It's like nothing you've ever. They're controlling so many freaking airplanes. There's so much going on in the New York area. It's very, very impressive. So if there's any New York City Tracon controllers out there watching this, A+, 10 out of 10. Then we had to wait like 15 minutes. The negative about landing runway 4 to the north for us is once we land, there's a lineup of planes looking to take off for left. So it's right in next to our ramp. So it can take many, many, many minutes of waiting in order to actually park our jet. So that's the stinky part of landing runway 4. It's a little bit quicker flight coming from the south, but it's a much longer taxi if there's a long line and a long wait up. So is what it is, about 20 minutes or so on the ground, and finally we parked the jet. So as always, hope you enjoyed. Comments, questions below, shoot me a DM on Instagram. I get back to all of them, any aviation related questions, and let me know. I'm coming up on 20,000 subscribers, which is crazy. So thank you very much for all the support, really means a lot. Shoot some questions below. I'm going to do a Q&A every 10,000 that I hit. Hopefully it continues to grow the channel. I'll do a Q&A with your guys' top questions. So shoot me some below. This will be the last travel vlog for a while. Not for a while, but last airline pilot trip vlog, because next week I'm heading to Oshkosh with my dad. So I'm going to vlog that. And as always, appreciate you. Be safe, and I'll see you soon.